found out something, but I'll tell you during the video.
Oh, thanks. That's how we opened the video then.
That's right.
Well, here we go.
Come on. Just like riding a bike. Let's do it.
Just when you thought they were dead. And they were never coming back to this channel. They awaken. We are the last awakening warriors. I am Joshua David, and I'm here with my main man, Johnny, the Kansas City Chiefs suck, Walker.
Coming in hot. Watch out.
And to all the Cincinnati Bengals fans out there,
Wah, wah.
wah, wah, wah. Another first rounder goes down. Yes, Cindy, please break out the keyboard and join the festivities. This is taking Cindy's back to the late 80s, early 90s when she was club hopping. Well, what's going on, Johnny? It's been a little while longer from the last video.
Been a minute. Good grief, you're not excited or nothing.
No, not excited at all.
Why are you yelling at the people? Who do you think you are, Jeffrey?
No, I don't have 100,000 hours. Only 10. I just became a master.
Master.
I'm not at the God level yet.
The God level.
Of 100,000 of hours.
A biblical stud.
Funny thing is probably all 100,000 hours, probably except for maybe 10,000 of those hours were
in the narrative. As an Assembly of God pastor. Yeah,
but being able to actually have like that many thousands of hours and still be one of the few people that we know that is a pastor or was one,
Yeah.
that finally got it means that there's hope for others as well.
There's hope for everybody. That's right. Hope for everybody. But I just don't think we have to cuss our people out. For anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about,
fudge you, Cindy. Fudge you, Cindy. Okay. He spent like an hour of cussing people out on his show, man.
Yeah. Talk about truth, but if somebody didn't come on his show and disagree with him.
Oh, somebody was in the chat like saying something different. Oh, dude, he would just go off the hinge.
He'd just go off. Knows so much truth, but he's got to get rid of that anger. Got to get over that. Don't know.
Hey, look, man, anyway. I understand, dude. I mean, we even see this from, the lower self in the book itself. Yeah. Where there were times where Christ was frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
There's times he was downright angry.
Yeah. Beat the crap out of the money changer. Used a weapon.
And with my adventures on TikTok, let me tell you, there are times I wanted to pull out my hair.
Oh, yeah. If the people were in person, watch out. Yeah.
Because when you sit here and you read to them Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9.
Yeah.
And they tell you that Elyon, who gave his son Yahweh his inheritance.
Yeah. His portion, which is
that
Israel.
Elyon isn't the father.
Then who the heck is he?
Of Yahweh?
Yeah. It's like, who's Yahweh? He's the father. Well,
who's the one above him, the Most High, who gave him his inheritance?
And the answer is, that's Yahweh. What? Yahweh gave himself an inheritance?
To know the truth, even when they say they believe everything. And then they'll say that you twisted the words. I read from the Hebrew translation, word for word.
Mm-hmm. If anything, the King James would be the thing twisted, right?
Right.
Can't go there. King James and his merry men, they were inspired by God. Don't jack with the merry men.
Right.
Anyway. We just do a video to rant.
No, look, man, there are times, man, this world, when you are in truth, man, it gets under your skin. It really does.
Yeah.
When you're showing them their own book that they say they believe.
Yep.
Jesus said, the Pharisees worship the devil. And they do not
worship Yahweh.
And they will refuse that's Yahweh.
Yep. No, that's a couple people that were off on their own worshiping like a little statue or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They make up some stuff until like, well, where does it say that?
Look, I wouldn't even disagree with that if they would agree that the Old Testament, like Jeremiah said and Paul said, still had the veil over it, and that it's total nonsense if you believe those stories. Because they changed all the names.
Jeremiah was telling you.
But they want both sides. They want to say, well, these people were just an isolated incident, and then try to say that all those things that they rewrote were the truth.
Only for the fact that everywhere Jesus went, there was a Pharisee believing the same thing. Only that little group followed him around and talked to him?
Right.
That was the only one. That's the only Pharisees that approached him?
Walked all around Judea and he could hardly get away for himself.
Yep. Pop up in the woods somewhere. Like, oh, crap. Where'd you come from?
But then it becomes even crazier. Talking to atheists. Okay.
Oh, this is good.
This is like, you wish you could bash your own head against a rock and
death won't come for you.
death won't come for you. These people, when you show them that Yahweh was the devil, if you believe the scriptures literally, like Christ said, that the Old Testament God, Yahweh, the one that went around killing and murdering people, was the devil.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say you're wrong and that you're misinterpreting that.
So they're defending a
They're
God.
defending a God they don't believe in a religion they don't believe in, and saying you're wrong about what it says.
So they'll say, well, that's not true. It's not real. I don't believe in it. But yet stick up for it. How do you stick up for something you don't think is real?
Yet defend the very words that shows them that what they believe is still based on Christianity.
That's like me telling my nephew saying SpongeBob SquarePants isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
And me saying, no, yes it is. Cartoons aren't real, but SpongeBob's real.
Right?
Like I don't believe it. I don't believe in cartoons except SpongeBob. He's real. You got it wrong, Isaiah.
So
Yeah,
then it's like, okay, you show them that the book actually says, that this person saying he's God isn't the God that he's claiming to be.
Yep.
And then they believe what the Christians told them. Who that was. Yeah. Oh, that's Jesus' father, Yahweh.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you you're a liar.
Mm-hmm.
That you're twisting the words of the Bible. That's not what it says.
Seems totally sane to me, Josh.
So they don't believe in the God of the Bible. But then they'll tell you that the Christians are right in what they said about the Bible.
Yeah.
When you try to tell them the truth about what the book says.
When Josh was telling me this earlier, it comes down to like, they just can't handle the truth. They'll go back on 100% of what they believe as their own truth.
Yeah.
Just not to hear the real truth. It's the same way in the church. They can't accept hearing truth either, and they just get angry.
Yep. Oh, and when I was on the, when we was talking earlier, when I got off the phone with you, the father was like, you know why that happens, right? Because, you can't put new wine in old wineskins.
That's it.
Your old way of thinking has to completely be gone.
Yep, got to destroy it.
You have to have a new wineskin, a new understanding, a new mind.
Yep.
If you believe God was outside of you, repenting of that means now 180-degree turn. Now he's within you.
Yep. See, we talk. Here's the situation, Josh. If someone is already seeking, if they hear us talk about this truth, that is our truth. We're not trying to give it away.
No, these are things that the Father showed us.
But if somebody's seeking, they may hear something that sparks a memory within them. Their truth.
Yeah.
Remember their own truth. If a person isn't seeking and they're in one of these narratives and they ain't seeking at all, they're just going to get angry at us.
Right, because what happens when you put new wine in a wineskin?
It bursts.
It burst. What's that? Yep. What's that? A metaphor for? When your mind bursts, what happens? What happens with the pit bull? The certain ones where they go crazy.
They snap.
Their mind is too overloaded. They can't handle it anymore. They can't contain the new revelation, and they go mad.
Truth will either edify and lift up or completely destroy you.
Yep.
That's why you got to watch what you're talking about and to who. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody.
Nope.
I mean, we were talking to Cindy one time and said, watch yourself. Don't hurt nobody.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't be dropping atom bombs on people's faces. Because we could do it, right? We could do that. We could do that. The flesh part of you would be like, oh, that'd be exciting.
Right?
As many Christians who freaking took it to me my whole life. Man, oh yeah. I'll go pay him back right now. It's just, that's not what it's about. That ain't love.
Right. And so the thing is, there's been a few times I was on the road with Kelly. I'm saying, forget it, man.
And forget it.
None of these dummies want to learn. None of these people want to know the truth. They don't want to know none of this stuff.
It just comes down to you run into somebody that's not seeking. You dust your feet off. You walk away.
Yeah.
You're not welcome in that town. You're not welcome, and you know it pretty quick.
And let me tell you. I guess we're going to talk about the lower self today, or the beast mentality.
Right. What have you been up to in the last month?
Pretty much nothing. Working. Yeah. I've been working like 60 hours a week and 7 days a week. It's I'm looking forward till next week when I'm on vacation. I got my permit for my license, so that's good.
Right.
But the lower self, man, I'm telling you, I called John one day and I was laughing hysterically because the lower self is so petty. And I mean, so petty. And I was petty before, but when you're in petty, when you're doing that like as a lifestyle, it's something totally different now when like that happens.
Yeah.
So this guy was arguing with me about crap. So I sent him one final message and then I blocked him.
I got the last word.
Yep, pretty much. I laughed for 20 minutes over that. I'm not even lying. So petty, man. I'm just like, can't do that stuff. Can't be petty.
Nah, can't get angry. I boxed a door yesterday. Boxed the door, and what happened? Father told me about myself.
I boxed the door, and the door won.
Yeah, it kind of did. My knuckle hurts. But and then I ended up getting the truth later. Big revelation. It was really good. We'll talk about it sometime. But I ain't did nothing either. There's really not nothing to do right now. It's starting to become winter, and everybody's scared of COVIDs. So everybody's getting COVID. So listen.
But hey, we
did. Listen, this is cool. This ain't cool.
Obviously, you thought it was cool. No, why do you think this is cool, Johnny?
We did. Listen, we did Dad's funeral.
Yep.
And my dad was preaching for the Church of God recently. He did before too. And then another Church of God preacher got COVID and passed away. And then I just found out today that my dad's old pastor, it's not Church of God, but it's Pentecostal Church of God. So basically the same thing. Pastor Frisbee is in the ICU on a ventilator. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? All these pastors. And I want to tell people that are listening to this, if you for a second think that the shed blood of a man can save you, let alone protect you from something, you're being an idiot. And there's your proof right there.
Well, I will say that if you believe Jesus' shed blood can do something for you, the only blood that can do anything for you is when you shed your own blood.
And we're not talking about physical people.
No, it's shedding your emotions.
Yep.
Stop allowing them to rule your life and stop believing those emotions are you, because they're not.
Yep.
But we have been on this thing about marriage and for a while now, and I'm not sure why.
Just keeps coming up,
getting brought back to this.
Yep.
But it's interesting what we're going to show today. Someone else wrote in a comment on our last video 9 hours ago that I happened to look at a few minutes before you called me, John, before we started the video.
Oh, this is news to me. All right.
Yeah, it's news to me. It didn't even come up on our notifications or anything. I just happened to go and check and click the bell, and it said Ronda Rose, and then it had some comments from her. And one of the comments was basically what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Well, isn't that interesting? Well, shout out to Ronda Rose.
Yeah. And I was like, coincidences, huh?
We need some more women on this channel. We need it. Me and Josh are talking about, listen, this whole being in the kingdom, this seems like a sausage fest. We can't be like the church now. Come on.
Yeah. It was, yeah. Jesus had a whole bunch of women following him, so.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because he knew the truth. Shout out to all the ladies, where you at?
So let's get started.
All right.
We are in Genesis 2:20. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds of the sky, and all the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. When you go into the Hebrew, it says, so gave Adam names to the livestock and to the birds of the air and every beast of the field. But for Adam not was found a helper suitable. And Christianity would try to sit here and tell you it's because Adam was looking for a helper. Not at all. Yahweh wanted to give him a helper.
Yeah, when he was made, he called it perfect.
Yes, he was.
If he was needing a helper, wanting to help.
In Genesis 1, when he was created, the spirit alone by himself.
Yeah.
He was good. He was perfect.
He was not, and that means he wasn't lacking anything. Yeah.
So, when it's talking about he named the livestock, the birds, and the beasts of the field, it's not talking about like animals.
No,
this is talking about, this is talking about the characters, the names, right? Characters. This is talking about characters within him. The livestock is the flesh. The birds are his mind in the sky. They're in the air, the mind.
Yeah.
And the wild beast is the soul, actually. There was not a suitable helper physically, emotionally, which is the soul, or even in his mind.
Carnal mind, yeah.
Because he was already complete with the spirit and wisdom.
Yeah. The spirit man can't have a helper that's of flesh.
Now watch what happens. So the Lord God, Yahweh, caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. And while he was asleep, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed it up, the place with flesh. If we go to the Hebrew, it's going to say, and calls to fall. Yahweh God.
Before you finish, I want to let this known to everybody that when it says man, it's not talking about Adam as in being a man, with a man's sexual organs. Because your true self is spirit. So this goes for anyone. Because in the kingdom, inside you, your spirit, you are neither male nor female. So this is for everybody.
Yes.
This truth we're talking about.
Yes. Because we're going to show that here. I was getting...
Just don't want nobody to be like, oh, they're being sexist.
No, we're just going based upon what the story says currently. Yeah. So calls to fall Yahweh, God, a deep sleep upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed closed up the flesh of its place. Caused to fall means
Caused to fall. Wow.
to fall or lie to. As in, like, you fell. You're fallen. You're in a state of fallen. Like the
And who
fallen
caused the
angels.
So who caused men to fall?
Yahweh.
You mean when men fell, it wasn't because Eve ate an apple?
Nope. The fall of man was
Holy
right
crap.
here when he was put to sleep.
And it was based on a lie.
It was
from
based on
Yahweh.
a lie. Now, what did Jesus say? Jesus said the devil was a liar from the beginning.
You're not getting that in church. Wow.
Right there. A liar from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And his lies caused men's fall.
Yep.
That's who the church calls their father. Huh. Interesting.
Now, when he fell from the heights, it caused him to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
A deep sleep, as though he was dead.
As though he was dead, Revelation says. Mm-hmm.
As though he was dead.
Lazarus. Same as Lazarus. Oh,
Yep.
he's not dead.
He's not dead. He's
only
asleep. Same thing, but the
Mhm.
people were saying he was dead. Why? Because he wasn't awake.
Yep.
He wasn't responsive. Non-responsive. And then we have Yahweh God taking part of the flesh. Now, if you want to say a rib, fine. A rib, a bone. Because that's going to come in handy a little bit later.
Yep.
Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib, from the bone, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had taken out of man, and he brought her to the man. This is what man said. Now this is bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. Notice it doesn't say spirit of spirit.
Nope.
It says bone and flesh.
Mm-hmm.
What did Jesus come to separate there, John?
Bone from marrow and spirit from soul.
So this person is the soul in the flesh
Mm-hmm.
that was taken out of Adam, a piece, a portion of his, and was created another being.
Yep.
And he called that other being woman.
Yep. Now, let's go into why this is important.
Yeah, this is it
Today.
right here. This is the verse right here.
Mhm.
Genesis 2:24. This is why a man leaves his father and mother, his spirit, and
Mhm.
is united to a wife, and they become one flesh.
Flesh. Yep. Nowhere in there does it talk about the spirit. You don't become one spirit.
Nope.
Leaving your father and mother, if you're not looking at the physical or literal, but always looking at the spiritual, figurative meaning in this scripture,
Your
you
spirit and
leave the
wisdom.
father and you leave the mother, Sophia, wisdom.
Yep.
You leave the kingdom and you go out looking for this, what we call what? A soulmate.
A soulmate.
Everybody's got to have that soulmate. There's an empty place in your heart.
In your
that
soul,
you feel.
and in the lower
Mhm.
self that
And it
you're looking
needs-
to feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is for men and women. Like I said before, this isn't distinctual just to talking about, man looking for a soulmate, because women look for soulmates too. And again, it has nothing to do with the flesh. We're talking about that's not even our true self. Our true self is
Is the
spirit. But when you leave the kingdom, you always have this desire
Yep.
to partner up with somebody. Now,
It actually is the reason
Josh?
driving your whole life. I mean, look at little girls with the princess stuff, and they're constantly bombarded with this whole idea of getting this man and him being the breadwinner, and they're it completes me.
What dress am I going to pick? Dreaming about the dress you're going to wear. And a guy, man, we feel the same things. If you're in the flesh, if you're in the soul, we feel the same thing. You want to provide for somebody. You got this urge, this desire to provide for somebody and start a family and be like, the big, strong. This is like these, it's ingrained in you, right?
It is.
Yeah. And to where you can't even separate yourself from the truth. And here's the thing, Josh, are we saying that you shouldn't have a female counterpart if you're a guy or, a partner in this life?
No.
We never said that.
What this is saying is that the reason why you're wanting this fulfillment in your life of being married is because of this reason. You've been separated from your spirit.
Yep.
This is why Christ said that when you're in the kingdom, no one will be what? Given in marriage?
Given in marriage.
Yeah.
No.
Given. You won't give someone in marriage, or you won't be given to someone in marriage.
Yep.
He's talking about this verse right here. Because you're basing your whole life on your soul and fulfilling your soul, that you're forgetting about the true self, the spirit that's in you, that's asleep, and not waking it up.
It really brings us back to the first videos we did about marriage, and the titles were marriage or mirage.
Exactly.
And all it is, it's a mirage of the soul. The importance of it.
And here's the thing. It's not about necessarily marrying. It's marrying flesh. Your true marriage is within yourself.
Yeah.
Reuniting with your wife within you, or your husband within you, your spirit. That's the true marriage. But like we say, everything is twisted, and what you're supposed to do inside, because we're in this realm, people want to do it outwardly.
Yeah.
So then they're going and seeking someone thinking that that's going to fulfill them. It doesn't.
Yeah. And listen, like, well, how do you guys know anything? You don't know what you're talking about. Listen, before we came into the kingdom, something very high on my list of to do.
Mine was numero uno.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say mine wasn't. Number one, I got to find a wife. I want to find a wife. I got to have a wife. I want a wife. We're going to consume half the day of thought, right? Yeah, half your day of thinking was like, crap, I'd really like to have a wife. I gotta meet somebody. And like, are you married, Josh? Are you in a relationship in this place with somebody?
I am not.
I am not either. Does it affect you in the way it used to before you entered the kingdom?
No, I don't even care.
It could be cool.
I don't even care. Like, if someone wants to be here, okay, my fulfillment isn't in that person.
Yep.
I'm already fulfilled. And if somebody wants to be here and we go on a journey together, fine.
Would it be nice to have somebody in this place to share things with and have fun times together, enjoy things, and if they were here, not because they signed a contract or swore any oath.
Yeah, that's another key point. This whole oath thing that people do.
Yeah. If they wanted to be here because they wanted to be here with me, great. Listen, I ain't going to turn it down.
And here's the thing. At any time, if they want to go, bye, Felicia. Because they're not bound to me. I don't care. They're not bound to me. I'm not
No.
enslaving them. They're not enslaving me.
No.
If someone wants to be here, they'll be here. If they don't, they won't.
Now, here's another scenario. Here's another issue we got to clear up real quick because there's already people like, oh my god.
I know people's faces are already melting.
Yeah. Well, you're saying that I was wrong because I got married. Listen, what you did before you entered the kingdom, and I don't care if you're in the kingdom and you want to get married. I don't care. I ain't calling that a sin. The only sin is not being love. All right.
My thing is this with the marriage thing.
Mm-hmm.
First find the kingdom. Okay. So then you understand what the hell an oath is.
Yep. Yep.
Because when you say till death do you part and you're an eternal being.
Yeah.
I want you to really think about that. You're an eternal being. Your true self is eternal.
And your words are spirit. Right?
Yes, they are.
You're speaking this oath. You're speaking spirit. And your true self is spirit and eternal. So when you swear an oath verbally, especially, till death do you part and your spirit never dies, who are you connected to at the hip now? Forever. Past this life.
Yeah, forever.
That's why Jesus said if you take an oath,
you better fulfill it.
Now you gotta keep that oath. This is a serious issue.
And that's the reason why he said it, because here you are, you're in the soul, you think that you have 40, 50 years and that's it.
Yep.
No, you're an eternal being.
It's crazy.
It is.
Are you ever going to say what the lady said from the comments?
She was basically saying the same thing we're going over right now.
Okay.
Like that's.
I didn't know if she maybe had a specific question or something. Everybody, you're good.
No, she's basically saying the same thing we're saying here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, that sounds awfully familiar. So, we gonna go over the stuff in 1 Corinthians that we went over the other day. I read to you.
Oh, we
From
probably
Paul.
got time. How long we been on?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even care how long we've been on.
Oh, ask Cindy. Cindy, do you want us to go about 1 Corinthians?
I don't know. We've been on about a half hour.
Oh, we're good then. Let's do it.
Dudes, what's up? Not much there, Clary. Shout out to Cindy.
Clary, what's up? Cindy, what's up?
I think we get reincarnated.
Yeah, so could you imagine you come back here and you got to try to find that person you married their life before? How hard is that going to be?
Right?
I ain't trying to do that kind of search. That's a scavenger hunt that I don't want to be a part of.
I will say that there are some people that come back to this reality, and their sole purpose is to to help others awaken.
Back to reality. Oop, there goes Rabbit. Oh, anyway.
Yep. Now, do all of us come back here? Could be. Could be.
Could be, yeah. Haven't quite got our finger on the complete. I don't know what I fully believe about that either. There's some people coming back. Well, if you don't find the kingdom now, yeah, you are. Is other people that found the kingdom coming back to keep pushing forward the truth? Probably. Do I want to come back here? I don't know.
Look, I'm going to tell you, like I told John, and I don't say this too many times, I keep on saying that while I'm here. And as soon as I leave, I say the other. I say, yes, let's go back. Because there's other people that have to be woken up.
I've kind of always
clearly said I think I'm a Buddhist now.
I think I'm a Buddhist now.
No, you're just coming into the real truth about this stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Christ said this. Christ said the man that was blind in John 9 was not the sins that he did not bring with him. He did not have sins from his past life that he brought with him.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Means he had to been here before. Also, John the Baptist.
John the Baptist was Elijah, if you think about it. Well, what do you mean by that?
Think about it, and everybody in the church will tell you, oh, that means he had the spirit of Elijah. Well, that's who you freaking are, a spirit. So what are you saying, church? You're saying
they don't know what they're saying. They literally don't know what they're saying.
He's been here before. Absolutely. And go figure it. He was still trying to tell people the truth, right?
He was still trying to get it himself to some degree.
Yep, himself to some degree, yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to go over to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 7:1. Now for the matters you wrote about. Is it good for a man to have sexual relations with a woman?
Taboo.
But since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, and each woman her own husband. Well, guess what? It's not what it says in the Greek.
Imagine that.
Each man of him the wife. But when you go look at the word, it means a woman. A woman is the correct definition, not wife.
Not wife. Well, that's proof that you got to get married to have a wife, Josh. Oh, wow. It doesn't say wife. It just says your own woman.
And then here, husband, it says what? A man. A male human being. A man.
So a woman needs to have her own man. Oh, okay. And don't get upset. If you're homosexual and you're watching this, you're in here too. Get ready.
We'll get to it.
Get ready. Get ready.
The husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. Well, guess what? It doesn't say that either. Here's the Greek. To the wife, which is, we already looked up, woman, to the woman and the man, the duty let fulfill. No marital. Do you see the word marital in there?
No.
That was added. You mean they added to the Bible? They're all going to hell. Likewise, now also the wife to the husband, or the woman to the man.
To the man. Mm-hmm.
The wife or the woman does not have authority over her own body, but she yields it to her man. In the same way, the man does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to the woman. Now, there are spiritual things you can gather from this too, besides what it's saying here. I just want to let people know that you can go search those out yourself.
Yep. What's it saying in the spirit? What's it saying? Yep.
Do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer, real prayer, meditation. Then come together so that Satan will not tempt you because you lack self-control.
Man, that says a lot for I can't tonight, honey. I got to do my hair.
I got a headache, right?
I got a headache.
I say this as a concession, not as a command.
Oh, wow. So this isn't law.
Not at all.
Said all
I
that
wish,
and then just tossed it out.
Now listen. I wish that all of you were as I am. Well, what was Paul? Paul was in the kingdom, wasn't he?
He was I am. All of you are as I am. Oh, the Father inside you. Interesting.
Now let's address something else. Let's say, for the sake of argument, those words did mean husband and wife.
Okay.
Well, what if you're not married?
Yeah.
You're not bound by a contract, so you don't have to stay with your husband and wife. Are you?
Interesting, isn't it?
But I would say to be with one. This is what Paul was saying to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually, if it's beyond more than one, you're going to be violating someone's sovereignty.
Yep.
It's just going to happen.
Yep. You're going to hurt. Somebody's getting hurt.
Yep.
Somebody is getting hurt. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, to the unmarried and the widows I say, it is good for them to stay unmarried as I do.
Did he say law? No, he just said good, in his opinion.
Did he say you couldn't have a partner?
Nope, didn't say it.
Sure didn't.
Nope.
But if they can't control themselves, they should marry. It is better to marry than to burn with passion.
Now, here's where the church does all kind of crazy. You take a young couple, they end up having sex.
Mm-hmm.
Church finds about it because they get pregnant or something. Church finds about it, yeah, you got to get married. Where I grew up, I got saved when in the church and stuff. My pastor, I just found out not too long ago from one of his nieces that when she got pregnant with a friend of mine, my old pastor told her, you have to get married. Told the couple that you got to get married. He made them get married. What's that cause? Because they're like, we don't want you being in sin. Can't be living in sin. You got to make this right. Well, I thought Jesus forgives and makes everything right, right? No. You got to get married to make everything right. So your actions is what makes it right. Okay. So they're not living up to practicing what they preach there. Then they cause them, since they were never supposed to be together anyway, because they were just young and being silly, right? Just enjoyed each other's company and did the deed. It happens. Now they go get divorced, which the church calls sin too. Mm-hmm. So now the pastor caused more sin. Well, what do you got to do? Well, now you got to go to the pastor's church and pay tithes and get saved again. It's a whole freaking racket.
Right. You got to pay them for a wedding. You got to pay them when you die. You got to pay them every week. I mean, it's
definitely got to pay when somebody dies. I'm telling you. We know that too well.
But here's the thing, too. We're going to get ready to show you here in the next couple of verses. These people ain't even in the kingdom.
No.
That he's talking to. These are people who are starting to understand things. They're on the path to the kingdom. That's why he said, well, when you're like, I am, he's in the kingdom. These people weren't that he was talking to. It'll show that here later.
No, and he's still not even giving them any kind of law.
Because they can't live by what exactly they can only live by what's in them.
Yeah, exactly.
To the married, I give this command: I, not the Lord. A wife must not separate from her husband. Notice this isn't the Lord saying this. This is Paul.
Mm-hmm.
But if she does, she must remain unmarried, or else be reconciled to her husband, and a husband must not divorce his wife. Now, let me go back and make sure it actually says the word divorce there in the Hebrew. To send away, yeah, a permit, yep. This is referring to the law of Moses when the husband would give their wife a paper of divorce. Yeah. That was something Moses started. Paul's saying he shouldn't do that because he made the vow. To the rest I say, I, not the Lord, if any brother has a wife who is not a believer and she is willing to live with him, he must not divorce her. Or willing to live with him, he must not divorce her.
Mm-hmm.
Notice he switched over and said, brother. To the rest, I say this. To brothers. Who are your brothers, John?
Others in the kingdom.
Others in the kingdom.
Yeah.
If she's willing to stay with you and you're in the kingdom,
yeah,
can't break the vow you took.
Yep. Stick it out. Because not everybody's going to find the kingdom at the same time just because you're a married couple.
Paul's going to address some other things too here in a minute about this the guy staying with the wife who's not in the kingdom. And if a woman has a husband, do what?
Or vice versa.
Yeah. And if a woman has a husband who is not a believer and is willing to live with him, her, she must not divorce him.
Stick it out. Yeah.
For the unbelieving husband has been sanctified through his wife.
Wow.
And the unbelieving wife has been sanctified through her believing husband.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, your children would be unclean, but as it is, they are holy.
Yep.
Whole bunch of deep stuff right there for you to chew on.
Mm-hmm.
But if the unbeliever leaves, let it be so. The brother or sister is not bound in such circumstances.
Well, that just explained another thing. Church teaches you that the only way out of marriage is through death or fornication. Here it says if an unbelieving spouse decides to leave, let it be.
Yep. God has called us to live in peace.
Peace. Mm-hmm. Well, there's another way out of a marriage there, it looks like to me, but the church never taught that.
Nope. How do you know, wife, whether you will save your husband? Or how do you know, husband, whether you will save your wife?
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, each person should live as a believer in whatever situation the Lord had assigned to them, just as God has called them.
From the beginning. So what's this say now, Josh? Let's break it down. I mentioned a group of people earlier that was mentioned here.
I think it makes it a little bit more clear in a couple more verses over.
All right, go ahead, then we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is the rule I lay down in all the churches. Was a man already circumcised when he was called? he should not become uncircumcised. Was a man circumcised when he was called? He should not be circumcised.
Saying don't change who you are?
Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing. Keep God's commandments is what counts.
And what's his commands? Love.
Yep.
That's all.
Each person should remain in the situation they were in when God called them.
So here's where we'll go. Now, I got some friends that are gay. And I had a real nice conversation after another friend of ours died, where my gay friend felt a call. He felt a tug, right? The Holy Spirit was talking to him.
Oh, the good news is in here.
Hey, what's up, good news? What's up, Kelly? A friend of mine, the Holy Spirit was speaking to him, but he said, I can't be saved because I'm gay. And the church already told me I'm doomed forever. I am forever doomed.
I'm sorry, clearly just...
What? What Clary say? Getting deep. Clary's got to interrupt. What do you say?
The PP is made for a vagina. Why is it a bad thing?
Well, I feel that way. Pretty sure Josh feels that way, but some people, Clary, don't. All right? Some people just don't. But here it's saying, if you're called, so say somebody that's homosexual finds the kingdom. Right there, unless I'm crazy, it's saying, you don't got to change who you are in this world, but to just follow God's command, which is love.
Yep.
I'm going to say it right now, and it might not be popular, and people might get mad about it. But I don't believe that the Father of all things cares about what I do with my genitalia.
Not at all. There's only one that does.
I don't. Yeah. So, listen. Talk amongst yourselves. Get mad at us. Whatever. That's where my stance is. Josh, what do you think?
My stance is the flesh counts for nothing, so why does it matter?
Dang right.
Now, there are going to be some Christian folk, if they hear this video, they're going to get very mad when I say that. Well, you're saying the person who likes little boys and little girls, no, because they're violating someone's sovereignty.
Listen, we done had a pastor that tried to get us to make a stance on that very statement. Are you saying that it's okay if a 5-year-old and an old man want to have sex? No, stupid.
No. From what we read tonight, if a 5-year-old is having those desires to be with some older person, they're not in the kingdom any longer.
Yep.
They need to refine the kingdom. Because when you're in the kingdom, you're not seeking that relationship. You're fulfilled in yourself.
Yep. I just couldn't get over the fact that some sick preacher was asking us that question anyway.
That's because they don't understand what love is. They think because someone says they love someone that means they love them. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, but he was trying to get anything he could to make us look bad.
Oh, I know.
He was trying to get us to say anything he get us to say.
He about fell out when I said love conquers all.
Yeah. Love conquers all. Yep. Yep.
I thought love conquered all.
Threw a hissy fit in my front room. The preacher did.
So I'll say this verse again. Each person should remain in the situation they were in when God called them.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a slave when you were called? Slave to sin? Were you a slave when you were called? Don't let it trouble you.
No.
I don't give a crap what sin you are in.
Mm-hmm.
Although, if you can gain your freedom from it, do so.
So should you beat yourself up because you can't quit tipping the bottle?
Nope. Not one bit.
That says right there, you shouldn't worry. Don't trip out. Don't beat yourself up like the church wants you to do. You got to get rid of this. You got to let God have this. You got to give that to God. You got to.
Paul said we're going to be dealing with this flesh until the day we die.
Yep. Yep.
And this is what he's talking about here too. It's not the higher self. It's not the Christ consciousness. It's not the spirit within you doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. For the one who was a slave when called to faith in the Lord is the Lord's freed person.
Mm-hmm.
That means in your mind, you're free now.
That's right.
Similarly, the one who was free when called is now Christ's slave. That means the Christ consciousness is ruling.
Yep. The same way if somebody came and decided to take me, you, anybody listening here that's in the kingdom and lock us up in a prison in this world, it means nothing because you can't make me a slave. My mind is still free. I have the Christ consciousness. Chain me to a wall for the rest of this body's life. I don't care. I'm free.
"100% right there, Mr. Good News."
What Kelly say?
Self is a higher realm of reason, which is love.
Mm-hmm.
Man lying with man refers to men appointed by other men to carry on and teach other men's religious doctrines and traditions.
Bingo bango.
They're lying with other men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the original word wasn't actually like lying down with them. That's the metaphor, but actually lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Telling lies with other men.
Mm-hmm. I do it all the time.
Shout out to Johnny Walker. You are always free.
Always.
From Cleary.
Yep. And I'm a cheap date. So, anyway.
Cleary said the spirit of truth knows no judgment, only love. Right? I had I called Johnny what was it? About a week or so ago. Telling him I had somebody tell me that God's not love. So then
God
I send
isn't just love. Yeah, he isn't just love. Yeah.
So I sent him the verse 1 John 4:8 where it says God is love. Period. God is love. Period. It didn't say God is love. Oh, he's also wrath, murder, vengeance, sacrifice. No.
No. Just love. End of story. Yeah, I got told that by a preacher too. Well, he's not just love, John. He's not just
your God's not. He's the one that rules you, isn't?
Yeah, he's gonna judge someday, and he's also an angry God. I'm like, come on now.
You were bought with a price, not to become slaves of human beings. This whole world is about being slave to human beings. People trying to rule over you.
People everywhere trying to rule over you.
Brothers and sisters, each person as responsible to God should remain in the situation they were in when God called them. Now about versions. I have no command from the Lord, but I give a judgment as one whom by the Lord mercy is trustworthy. Because of the present crisis, I think that it is good for a man to remain as he is. Are you pledged to a woman? Do not seek to be released. Are you free from such a commitment? Do not look for a wife. But if you do marry, you have not sinned.
There you go.
And if the virgin marries, she has not sinned. But those who marry will face many troubles in this life. You sure will. Look at every married couple.
In this life, there's some stress that comes with it. Yeah, there is some stress. You got to know that.
And I want to spare you this.
And this is Paul's opinion. This is how he's decided to live his life, and he's more than welcome to decide that. He has all the right in the world to decide that for himself, and so do you. He's saying right there, just like we were talking about, if somebody is saying, you know, or are they saying that because I'm married, I'm wrong, or if I'm sinning, like, no, because look what it said right there. If you do decide to marry, it is not a sin. You're not in sin. But to know that with coming together like that in this place, this life, that there are going to be issues that arise. And later, Callie, there are going to be issues that arise.
Yeah.
You got two people trying to decide, how do you raise your kids? You got two different people trying to decide, how do you handle your economics? Mm-hmm. You got two people to decide. It takes a lot to be on the same page in this place. You're two different spirits and you're two different flesh. You got the war between them and yourself. And
I think the bigger war is once you make the vow.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't believe in marriage with the vow. I believe in marriage if I love someone and they love me and we're together, we're married.
Yeah, two people deciding they want to live.
The church deciding that I'm married, or the government doesn't mean jack crap.
Yep. 100%.
These were arranged marriages back then too, where you had no consent.
Yep.
Your father gave you and married for some goats.
Oh yeah. Like, Dad gave away some goats and I got a wife? What?
Yeah.
Like, those goats ain't very pretty. I hope she looks half decent. And you're talking about the present crisis. Well, I wonder why everybody was trying to divorce.
Well, that and all the chaotic stuff that was going on there during that time with Rome taking over everything and destroying everything that was in there. What I mean, brothers and sisters, is that the time is short. From now on, those that have wives should live as they do not. Those who mourn as if they did not. Those who are happy as if they were not. Those who were buying things as if they were not theirs to keep.
Yep.
Those who use the things of the world as if not engrossed in them. For the world in its present form is passing away. I want you to be free from concern. An unmarried man, what?
Goes along with Jesus saying, take no thought.
Yeah, take no thought. An unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs, how he can please the Lord. But a married man is concerned about the affairs of the world and how he can please his wife.
Yep.
This is really talking about people searching out for that soul mate. Because their whole life, their whole identity is in that.
Yeah.
It's not in the Christ that's within them.
Right.
And his interests are divided. Ooh. Double mind anyone?
Well, that and being a house yourself, a house divided can't stand.
Yeah, you can't serve God and money, right?
No.
We hear that right all the time, right?
Yeah, there's all kind of.
Well, you serve God, right? But you need money for your family, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
To raise your family, don't you?
Oh yeah, you're going to want to take care of him and stuff. You're going to. It's definitely going to take. And again, he said, if you do marry, you're not. That's not sin.
No, it's not. He's
Not
just
sin.
trying to. He's trying to explain to you that how this thing works.
It's going to take time, a whole lot of precious time.
An unmarried woman or virgin is concerned about the affairs of the Lord. Her aim is to be devoted to the Lord in the body and the spirit. But a married woman is concerned about the affairs of this world and how she can please her husband. I am saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in a way, in the right way, in undivided devotion to the Lord.
Mm.
If, however, or if anyone is worried that he might be acting honorably towards a virgin he is engaged to, or not acting honorably towards a virgin he is engaged to, and if his passions are too strong and he feels he ought to marry, he should do as he wants. He is not sinning. They should get married. But the man who has settled the matter in his own mind, who is under no compulsion, but has control over his own will, and who has made up his mind not to marry the virgin, this man also does the right thing. So then, he who marries the virgin is right, but he who does not marry her does better. A wife is bound to her husband as long as he lives. But if her husband dies, she is free to marry anyone she wishes. But he must belong to the Lord. He must be in the kingdom.
Yep.
Interesting stuff.
Good luck, ladies. There's not too many of us out there.
In my judgment, she is happier if she stays as she is. And I think that is to have the Spirit of God.
Yep.
And we have come to the next chapter, which we're going to leave for another time.
You got that Bob Ross voice going on now.
Happy little tree is right over here.
Well, if there's any questions, now would be the time to put it in chat.
Okay, clearly had a question. Do you guys ever think about your consciousness and how you woke up every morning knowing who you are, but some people lose it and slip away into dementia? It seems this is what keeps you returning here.
Interesting.
Well, the whole not knowing who you are thing, yeah, that is what keeps you coming back here.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta figure it out.
Yep.
Definitely. And you'll keep reliving this thing over and over again until you get it.
And all the things that teach you in this world, all the systems of this world, educational systems, governmental, especially religious systems, that does keep you in dementia, the state of dementia. Like where you cannot remember who you was. That's why most people can't remember back farther than when they were like 5 years old, because before then they were in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Before they started living out of this knowledge of good and evil that's taught by men, comes from the soul. It's what the soul wants to listen to. You can't think that far because you were in the kingdom before, and now you're not.
And this is why people have this sense of loneliness, right? This is why they're always looking for something outside of them to fulfill who they are inside.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all that plays into the whole reason why you go after a wife, you go after drugs, you go after like this thing over here. Like there's something that's driving you towards a direction in your life. Whatever that is, you're seeking fulfillment in that. And it's because you've been separated from your spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the hole that's needing filled. And it's nothing that really even needs filled. It needs denounced. You need to denounce this flesh, this soul, this life.
That this is really you.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not really you. You find the kingdom, you find who your true self is. You now know yourself. You know the Father, and He now knows you.
Mm-hmm.
You're completely fulfilled. Listen, would I enjoy having a relationship with somebody in this place? Sure, I would enjoy. I could tell honestly. Will I be distraught if it never happens in this life? No, I'm 100% fulfilled. I don't have to have that anymore. It's the same way with wanting acceptance and approval from my dad that I never got. You know, people still to this day ask me, "How am I doing? Have you let yourself have a time to grieve?" All these things, and I keep trying to tell them, "Will you not get it through your thick head? Why are you making me grieve when I have no intention or desire to do so?"
Right.
I am fine. I have been at peace since when my dad went in the hospital and they said he had COVID. Since that very time, I knew he wasn't coming out of the hospital. Too many health issues, too old, too all this stuff. I knew he wasn't coming out, and I've been at peace since that time. I'm still at peace today. Every once in a while, when my flesh starts trying to talk to me, you know, when I'm talking to the Father and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, and the flesh tries to get up in my business, and like saying, "Well, you know, be nice to hear your dad talk again." Oh, that's the smell of the cologne your dad used to wear, or you know, all this stuff, and you start trying to miss them. And you know, it'd be nice to have a conversation. Why? No conversation ever went good because I talk about truth, I get yelled at. But but yeah, do you miss the people that you're accustomed to being around a lot? Absolutely. But to not have that approval, that's fine. I never got the approval. That's okay. I was never accepted. I never got loved how I felt like I wanted to be loved. And that was only because that was the soul wanting to be loved that way.
Yep.
Right? You come into the kingdom and you don't need anybody's approval. You don't need anybody in this place to love because you are love.
You're fulfilled. You are Adam.
Yeah. Yeah.
The original Adam. You've become the original Adam of yourself. Mm-hmm.
And what was Adam? Made perfect.
Yep.
Not lacking anything. So not having to seek anything to be complete.
Clearly said I could hang out with you guys for a month just talking.
Oh, jeez, dude. Yeah. Yeah. There's so much.
Depending on how things go, you might get a chance to do that, Clary.
Yeah. Yeah. We're back in our talks, trying to figure out where the Father is leading next. And there might be an RV in that. So
might be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not official. That's unofficially right now.
It's being talked about again. But yeah, we got to get Clary's information. We got to talk to him and eventually do a video with him.
We will
do that.
We will.
Yeah. We got
It might, and it just might be. We might just show up one day at your doorstep and be like, "Hey, the cameras are rolling inside the RV. Let's go."
Yeah, and what's for supper? We like to eat.
And we'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a cheeseburger today.
That's right. Cheeseburger. Well, man, I'm good. If you're good, it's nice to do a video again. It's been a minute.
Yeah, Father does what he does, man, and this whole journey about this, coming to the point we've come to now, seeing the reason why you seek out a wife and stuff in this life, and why that just seems I was always like kind of weirded out by that. Anyway, like these whole people put their whole life into finding someone else in this life, and it's like, it never just felt right to me.
Yeah.
They're just because I always thought there had to be something more than just that, right? There has to be something beyond just, okay, I found the woman, right? I found this woman to be with, this person to be with, right? Then what?
Yeah, you think about that, and I thought about that before too. Like, well, what if somebody in their early 20s finds the spouse and they get married and they have a couple 2.5 children and they have the house with the picket fence and a nice job and the careers that they want to stay in their whole life. And by the time you're 30, then what's left to achieve? I was thinking about it that way. Like, wow, for them, what is there to look forward to tomorrow?
Right.
I've already achieved everything at this early age. I've already achieved everything in life. And I got, 70 years left. Like, what else is left? But when you find out that that's not even what this life's about anyway, it's just about love.
We could do that too, clearly. Just come on your show and just chill for a while. That'd be awesome too.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Johnny,
you rapid fire questions.
I am good if you're good, Johnny.
I'm good. I just want to leave people with a little bit of advice. Just let them know something. You can't leave your room going through the closet door. You can't do it. Just a little bit ago, before we started the video, we decided, let's do the nature break. Go to the little boy's room, and I opened the door, and I walked through, and I ran into a wall, and I couldn't figure out where I was. There's problems if a blind man has a closet door right next to the door to leave the room.
Yeah. I think there's a spiritual truth in there somewhere.
Something in there. Yeah, there's something in that. I'll figure it out sometime. Anyway,
maybe it's you can lead a blind man to a door, but you can't lead him through the closet.
I had to come out of the closet. Oh. I knew something was up with that. Anyway. Everybody be blessed and be
it's a good thing that was one of those doors that, that a man can open and shut himself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good there was a knob on the other side.
Oh, man. We are the Last Awakening Warriors. And we will see you guys in the next one.
I've lost my mind, I think I've lost control.